channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Darian, aka LOL Not Darian, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and comment down below how you like this video. As you can see by the title of today's video, I'm going to be doing a story time. Okay, so this is actually going to be another story time about Allison, my toxic ex-best friend. Thinking back, like, this was kind of like, are you okay? Are you good? So let me just get on into the story time. So back when I was in my third year of college, I don't like to call it my junior year because I was like retaking classes for a semester and then I took a break for a semester. So my junior year was technically like my fourth year in college. So this is my third year in college, and while I was retaking these classes, I went through a hard breakup. The guy literally like left me for another bitch, and like it was a whole thing, y'all. If y'all want the story time about that, I can absolutely give it to you, because that was like, that shit was fucking nuts. Anyway, so this was like around that time where I was retaking classes. I was retaking 2 classes. I was super depressed because like I didn't have my own apartment, and my mom like wanted me to stay with her, but I didn't really want to stay with her. Anybody who knows me knows that like I'm not really fond of staying with my mother for various reasons. And so it was just a thing of like, okay, well, I'm not staying with you. So what I ended up doing was I stayed with Allison. She literally did not care. Like, she was like, girl, I ain't got shit going on. Like, you can come stay at my place. I don't care. So that way I was able to stay in our college town and still like be, you know, around all of my friends and everything, without having a place to stay in our college town. Because at first I was staying with a guy that cheated on me. So I had to find somewhere else to be, obviously. So this was around like Thanksgiving time. I had just turned 21. My best friend Peach, if y'all remember from the other story time, she had also just turned 21. She and I are 2 weeks apart. And we will give names. So it's me, Allison, Peach, and then there is another friend we'll call Vanessa. Vanessa is Allison's age, but she is also a Libra. So it's literally 3 Libras, me, Peach, and Vanessa, and then Allison is a Gemini. And then I think Sabrina also drove up. It was November at this point, and one thing about me, I love like hosting or going to like fun events. And so I had suggested that we throw a Friendsgiving party. And so everybody was down. Everybody was like, you know, so excited, whatever, right? So one thing about Allison's place is it was always dirty. I don't know what it is about smokers. I've seen like a few smokers, their places are like super clean, but most of the time smokers' places, like heavy smokers, their places are like a pigsty, like awful. And Allison's was no different. And so even though I love a clean place, like one thing about me, my place is always going to be clean. Like if I say, oh, sorry for the mess when somebody comes in, it's usually because like I'm in the middle of laundry or something. But like my place is usually immaculate. But I couldn't keep her place the type of clean that I like to keep it, because it was too much of a mess. So she and I and Vanessa, we all cleaned up the house or whatever, and we started cooking, getting the food together, getting the drinks together and everything, getting the you know, smoke together, and just, you know, getting ready for the Friendsgiving party. I think we also went, I'm not sure if we went and got it or if Peach went and got it, but I remember we also had like a big long white table, and like one of those like foldable white tables in their living room. Like we pushed all the furniture over to the wall and then had the dining table in there. We got like a cute little like tablecloth, some like plastic cute plates and cutlery and all that. Like it was really cute. It was a really cute setup. That was such a fun Friendsgiving. I think I've only, usually, honestly, truly, not to toot my own horn, my Friendsgiving parties usually smack, okay? Like, they usually smack. Especially, like, once I got my own place. Anytime I throw a Friendsgiving party, aside from this year, but this year it was, like, a lot going on. But, like, usually when I throw a Friendsgiving party, and plus, this year wasn't a Friendsgiving, so. But when I throw a Friendsgiving, oh, it is a blast. Every single time, it is a blast, okay? And so this time was absolutely no different. We had the time of our lives. It was a great night, right? Absolutely fucking wonderful. Everyone was in a good mood. Everybody was talking. Everybody was laughing. And like, one thing about our friend group, I don't know what it was, but like, we could have multiple conversations. Like, let's say we were all sitting in a circle. We could have multiple conversations going on at once. And so like, let's say I start talking to this person next to me, we could talk, and then the person diagonal from me would jump in, and then we all three would start talking, and then this person would start talking to the person diagonal to them, and I would still be talking diagonal to them, and like, our conversations would not get interrupted, or like, nothing would be like misconstrued. We wouldn't have to be like, huh, wait, what did you say? Wait, shh, huh, what? Like, it was so much fun. Like, the chemistry was phenomenal. It was a blast, right? Right. So fast forward, the night ends or whatever, and Peach and Sabrina leave. And like, I'm like, oh, it was such a good time. Like, I'm so happy y'all came. Like, it was so fun. They're like, yeah, it was so much fun. Oh my God, like, we have to do this next year, blah, blah, blah. So we hug and everything, and they both leave. Sabrina goes back home, Peach goes back home. So it's just me, Vanessa, and Allison in the house. I forgot to tell y'all, Vanessa is Allison's roommate. So basically, long story short, Allison had moved into that apartment with her other best friend that she had made freshman year. And her other best friend had another best friend who was Vanessa that she also signed the lease with. So it was the three of them, and then like another friend who was just like, she was cool, I think, with Vanessa. I think she was Vanessa's freshman year roommate or something, and so they just like roomed together again. So, but then Allison decided one day randomly that she didn't like the other friend, which should have been a red flag to me. But she decided one day that she didn't like the other friend, the best friend that recruited her to come like live in the apartments. And so she basically did everything she could in her power to kick her out. I also have a story time about that if y'all want it. It was a lot. But anyway, so, and no, I was not living with them at the time whenever she kicked the other roommate out. It's not like I'm like, the fucking freeloader that came in and like kicked somebody out who was paying rent and everything. No, it was not like that at all. But anyway, so we all like, me, Vanessa, and Allison, we started cleaning up. And we're just like talking, reminiscing, or not reminiscing, but like talking about like how fun the party was, right? And we're like, smoking, passing it around, and it gets to Allison, and she like, we're literally mid-conversation, and she just stops and she goes, wait, but like, did y'all notice that Peach was being a bitch? And me and Vanessa look at each other, and we look back at Allison, and we both at the same time were like, no, we didn't get that from her. What are you talking about? And she was like, yeah, no, she was just doing like little shit to like be a bitch to me, so I had to be a bitch right back to her all night.
You just made that up.
And we were like, you seemed fine. like what are you talking about? Like like you could usually tell when somebody's like being bitchy or something. When I tell y'all, this girl was like normal. Like, she was so cool. So we were like, what the fuck are you talking about? You had to be a bitch right back. Like, girl, you was big chilling. Like, what makes you think that she would be a bitch to you? Like, I'm so confused. I forgot what she said. I still, till this day, cannot for the life of me remember what the event was that made her claim that Peach was being a bitch to her. I cannot tell y'all at all whatsoever. And Peach doesn't even remember it, because I remember I asked her like a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago or something. I asked her like, do you remember what it was even about, and she was like, no, I cannot remember what the fuck it was about. But when I tell y'all, it was literally so fucking minuscule. It was so minuscule. Basically, Allison has this like weird dilemma, this weird dynamic where she gets really anxious about the interactions that she has with her friends and her family, and instead of just, you know, clarifying with her loved ones like, hey, I've been sitting here ruminating about this topic and or this situation, and I can't like seem to get it out of my mind. I feel really uncomfortable about like what I did or what I said, and so I just want to check in with you and make sure that like you and I are good, because it's just been eating me up inside, and I also want to apologize for it, just like, you know, so that I can feel better about the situation. Instead of doing that, she would turn it into a thing where like you're the villain in the situation, because she convinces herself that you have an issue with something that she did simply because she has an issue with something that she did. And so since she's so convinced that you have a problem with something that she did, that she feels guilty about, she thinks that you are just not communicating what you have an issue with, and you're just passive aggressively taking it out on her, because that's something that she would do if she had a problem with you but doesn't want to say it to your face. So literally just projection, just like a big old thing of projection. And she did this all the time. I'm not sure, like I said, I haven't spoken to her in years, so I don't know if like this is how she is now. I hope that this is not how she is now. You know, it's been years. Hopefully she's grown from this situation. She was definitely like that type of person where it was like she would do something and you literally wouldn't even think twice about the situation, but she would sit there and like let the guilt eat her up inside, and to avoid the feelings of shame and guilt that she had for that situation, she would just project it onto you and be like, no, I know you have a fucking problem and you're not talking to me about it, so you're being the bitch right now. And it's like, girl, I'm not even thinking about that. And like, so she'll end up like reading so deeply into every situation or every interaction that she has with you after that moment, that she is just convinced that you're being passive aggressive and not telling her what the real issue is. So that's what this was. It was literally like, when she told us the situation, me and Vanessa straight up were like, I don't think Peach even like remembers that. Like, I don't think she would care about that. And she was like, no, like I promise y'all, like she felt some type of way about that situation and she don't want to talk to me about it, so she decided to be a bitch all night tonight, so I had to be a bitch right back. And we were just like, okay. Like, okay. And like, this isn't the first time that she has like talked shit about one of us behind our back. She usually, I don't think she had ever talked shit about Vanessa behind her back, because it was also a weird like enmeshment dynamic where she had a constant favorite, which was Vanessa, and it kind of like modeled how like Allison's mom was with her and her sisters, but like that's none of my story to tell. But like, she had a constant favorite, which was Vanessa, and then she would cycle me and Peach out. So there were times where Peach was her favorite, and or her second favorite or whatever, and then like I would be the one on the outskirts being called all types of names and like being shit talked about behind my back. And like, of course my friends would tell me, and I'd be like, I'm the type of person where like, if you're not going to say it to my face, you obviously don't give a fuck about it that much. Like, you obviously cannot care about it that much if you cannot come up to me and talk to me directly about it. So I will sit there and I will let you seethe and be resentful and be angry with me, because you don't have the balls to speak up and talk to me like a fucking adult. I don't care. And so there were multiple times when she would say shit about me and I would just be like, she didn't say it to me, I don't give a fuck. So this, like, just to say, this was not the first time that she had said something about one of us. So that whole thing happened, that night happened. I like felt really uneasy about it, because I was like, that's really strange, especially because I know that Peach is like thinking that y'all are good, y'all are hunky-dory, especially because that night at the Friendsgiving, there were no issues. There were no issues. There were no issues. Everybody was fine. Everybody was happy. Everybody was having a good time. Everybody was having a good, grand old time. And it was just like, this is not like what you're trying to make it out to be, right? Right. Anyway, I had told Peach that I wanted to, I told Peach that I wanted to spend Black Friday with her, even if we weren't gonna like actually buy anything because we were hashtag broke college students, even though we weren't, okay, I got mocos somewhere and these nails make it fucking impossible to get the mocos. So fast forward, I told Peach how I wanted to spend Black Friday with her, and I think either she had already planned, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. She had already planned to spend Black Friday with her boyfriend, now fiance, because she also wanted to spend time with me and spend some one-on-one time with me, because we didn't get much one-on-one time since I was essentially living with essentially living with Allison. Anytime that like she came over, she would have to like be around Allison. And so she wanted to take advantage of the one-on-one time that we could get on Black Friday just as much as I did. So Black Friday came around, her boyfriend took us to the Galleria, and we were just walking around the Galleria, you know, just literally having a good time, window shopping. She saw, I like literally don't remember it, but she said that I saw them as well. But we saw Lex P and Drea. If y'all watch Poor Minds, I love their podcast. But we had saw them because they were, I guess, there for like, you know, Thanksgiving or whatever with their families. And this is like just like a little side story, but she saw both of them and she was like looking at them and she was like, whoa, they are so pretty. Like she was just staring at them. She thought they were so gorgeous, but like we had never even heard of Poor Minds up until this point. Like I think she didn't hear about them until 2 years later. And like it just came across her YouTube recommendations, and she was like, those are the girls that I saw at the mall. But anyway, she was like staring at them and she was like, they are so fucking pretty, oh my god. And then they came up to her and they came up to her, they were like, oh, are you a fan of our show or something? And she was like, no, I don't know of like what show you're talking about. And they were like, oh, okay. And they like walked off, and she said she could hear one of them go, so maybe she's just a weird bitch that likes to stare at people. And it was like, and I remember Peach was like, bro, like, now that I know who they are, that kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, bro. It's like a cute little story. But so we like had a good time, like window shopping and everything. And I think Peach's boyfriend had walked off to go get some food or something like that. I don't know what he like walked off and did. Maybe he went and like looked at some shoes, because if you know about the Galleria, there's like a shoe store right off of the food court that you can go look into. So he might have went over there. But I remember it was just me and Peach at some point, and I had told her like, hey, also I just wanted to like give you a heads up about Allison. Like she has some type of like animosity towards you right now. And she was like, for what? Because like at this point, like you just, it's like, bro, like what is it now, you know? So she was like, animosity for what? And I told her about like how the Friendsgiving and like, you know, how Allison was like, you know, I had to be a bitch right back and like blah, 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 blah. And Peach was like, she literally was normal at the Friendsgiving. Like I didn't even notice that she was trying to be a bitch to me. Like I thought we was cool. Like I'm confused. And I was like, bro, exactly. Me and Vanessa were saying the same thing to her. Like you were acting absolutely normal at the Friendsgiving. Like what is the issue? Peach was like, well, did she say like why she thinks I would be a bitch to her? And so I told her. And I remember, like I said, I don't remember what the situation was because it was so fucking petty. And so after I told Peach about it, she was like, I barely fucking remember that situation. That's what she thinks I'm mad about? And I was like, yeah, bro, like she literally gave us that scenario as to why you would be passive aggressive to her all night. And Peach was like, bro, you know me, I don't do passive aggressiveness. I was like, bro, I know. Like, I know. She was like, I literally don't remember that situation. Like, I vaguely remember that situation because it literally was not an issue for me. Like, I didn't even have like a thought in my mind of like, huh, that was weird that she would do that or say that or whatever. Like, I literally did not care. I don't give a fuck about that situation. What the fuck, you know? So she was like, it just really bothers me that like I'm over here smiling in this girl's face, and I think we're cool, and I think we're good and everything, and she's over here telling everybody else that I was being a bitch. That's kind of scary. I was like, yeah, girl, I don't know like what her issue is. I don't know, like, you know, I'm just letting you know. So she started talking to me about like, you know, do you think I should talk to her about it? And I was like, if that's what you want to do, then do it. You know, I wanted to at least let you in on it, because I don't want you just sitting here smiling in this girl's face and she's over here like, you know, calling you a bitch and everything. Like, that's just not fair to you. And so she was like, I think I'm gonna talk to her about it, like, you know, because Peach is the one, the polar opposite from me, where she's like, no, we're gonna have a conversation about it. Whereas me, I'm like, you can sit there and be mad as shit all you want to. I don't give a good goddamn. I'm gonna keep being me. I'm gonna keep doing me. I really don't care. But Peach is like, we're gonna have to sit down and we're gonna have a conversation about it. She texted Allison. I almost said that girl's name. She texted Allison when we were on the way to get cupcakes or something, or I think, yeah, we were about to get cupcakes from the cupcake ATM, and she had texted Allison and was like, hey, so like, I heard that like, you know, you called me a bitch. I just want to see like, you know, is there like any issues? Like, are we okay? Like, you know, do you want to talk about it? Because we can talk about it if that's what you want to do. I'm okay with that. I'm open to that. I just don't want there to be any type of like static in the air. Like, you know, is everything okay? And so that's when Allison goes, yeah, like I never said that about you. No, like, you know, that was never a thing. Like, we're good. I promise you we're good. Like, blah, 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 blah. And Peach is like telling me this because I'm in the back seat. She's reading off the messages to me, and I'm like, okay. Like, okay, I thought she was being a bitch and you had to be a bitch right back, but all of a sudden y'all are good, y'all are okay, you never said that? Okay. And like, Peach knows that I wouldn't lie about it, especially because she has heard Allison call me a bitch behind my back before. So she was like, you're being a pussy. Like, you're sitting here lying to me about it. I know you said it, because why would Darian lie to me about some shit like that? Like, come on now. Basically, Peach like pressed the issue because she was like, no, you called me a bitch and we're gonna talk about it. So she was like, okay, well, if you want to talk about so-and-so situation, then we can talk about it. Like, I just want to let you know, I have no issues with like the situation that happened, blah, 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 blah. And the situation that she's talking about is the one that I told y'all is like the reason Allison thought that Peach was being a bitch to her. So Peach like clarified, like, you know, I have no issues about that situation. I'm not upset about that situation. Like, it is what it is. Like, I literally haven't even thought about that situation since it happened. It was no issues whatsoever. And Allison was like, yeah, no, like, I like completely forgot about that situation. Like, I have no issues about it. Like, you know, I'm happy that you spoke to me about it, and blah, 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 right? Just basically being fake as shit. While Peach and Allison are having that whole conversation, and Allison's like, no, like, there's no beef, there's no static, there's no nothing, like, we're good. Like, I haven't even thought about that situation, blah, 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 blah. I have a headache. Hold on. My period's about to start, so my head is banging, y'all. Banging. Oh my God. While they're having that whole conversation, right? Tell me why. Tell me why Allison texts me. She texts me and she goes, did you tell Peach that I called her a bitch? And I'm like, well, yes, because I feel like she deserved to know. Allison goes,
don't you ever in your fucking life tell her what I say about her ever again. How do you expect me to trust you if you decide to go off and tell her whenever I'm talking shit about her? That is not okay. That is absolutely not okay. You have destroyed my trust in you.
Let me explain something to you, bitch.
Literally cussing me the fuck out while she is texting Peach at the same time saying, I never called you a bitch. Like, she's texting me, telling me to never in my fucking life tell Peach what I say about what she says about her ever again. Because how could she ever trust me to talk to me about any type of issues if I'm gonna run back and tell Peach about it? I'm like, oh, this is a new development. This is crazy. This is actually insane. You are insane. You are not well in the head, you crazy nut ass bitch. What the fuck? what the fuck? And so I literally look at it and I just lean over to the front seat and I put it in front of Peach's face and I'm like, look. And she reads it and she busts out laughs. She just starts cracking the fuck up. She was like, there's no fucking way. I'm like, bro, this bitch. And it's like, I don't know if she expected me to not send it to Peach. Maybe she didn't know that I was with Peach. Did you forget I have Peach's number? Did you forget that I've been friends with Peach so much longer than I've been friends with? I've known this girl for a decade. And you think I'm not going to send her these screenshots to let her know that you had in fact called her a bitch and you're sitting there lying in her phone? Get down! Sorry y'all, I have like a candle warmer. I have a wax melter on my bookshelf and it's plugged into a wall and she can see it, Bailey can see it, and so she's trying to play with the plug. Yeah. Anyway, what happened, Buki? I thought you said that she was being a bitch to you. I thought, like, are you, like, do you want your friend to be a bitch to you? Or do you, like, do you not want to settle the situation? Do you not want to talk it out with her? Because, like, I'm confused. I'm confused. Like, do you think she was being a bitch to you, or do you not want to talk about it and you just wanted to call her a bitch and you just wanted an excuse to talk down on her and thought that I wasn't going to make sure that she was in the know about somebody who she calls a friend calling her a bitch behind her back after she just spent the entire fucking evening with her? Like, are you good? Are you okay in the head? She's not. That's the only answer. She's not. She's literally fucking crazy. I don't even remember what I said. I don't even think I said anything back, because one thing about me, just like I told y'all at the beginning, I'm so good at ignoring. I will ignore when you have a problem with me. I will ignore when you talk to me crazy. Like, if you text me, talking to me crazy, you're not talking to me. I will straight up ignore you, because it's like, no. When my mom texts me and like tries to start an argument, I don't text her back, because it's like, this is my phone. Sorry, I pay the bill on this phone. I bought this phone. You're not gonna sit here and bait me into a full-blown back and forth. I'm not doing that. Like, relax. Relax. Best believe she was okay when I saw her in person. Like, when it comes face to face, she's so good at being passive aggressive that it just comes off as passive. Like, it just comes off as her being friendly. So it's like, I don't give a fuck. You're not talking to me. We're cracking up in the car talking about how crazy this bitch is. And that was the story. She was a weird girl. She was a weird girl for sure. This was like one of our last interactions with her before we decided to just like not be friends with her anymore. There were 2 more interactions with her before this, but this was like the beginning of the end, because it was like it was also, think of like, the only reason why you're like even talking to me like this, and the only reason why you actually feel comfortable having confrontation, is because I put you in hot water with somebody else and I told somebody else about the shit that you was saying behind their back, and you don't like that shit. You don't like your character being put on blast of who you really are, because you like to say like, oh, I don't like confrontation, I don't like confrontation. And people who don't like confrontation are just those type of people that will talk the hottest absolute shit about you behind your back every chance they get, and then be like, what are you talking about? I never did that. I never said that. Oh my God, why would I do that? Watch out for people that say that they're non-confrontational. Watch out for those people. Do not befriend those people, because those people will be your fakest fucking friends. Like, your fakest friends. And it's like, I know like how I describe how I am, like, it sounds like I'm non-confrontational. If I have like an actual situation, because it's also the thing about me, I can't fake the funk. If it actually affects me, then I will take some time to myself before I come and have a conversation with you about it. But if it's one of those things where it's like, people talking shit about me really does not get under my skin. Like, I don't give a fuck about it, because I went through so many years of people talking shit about me in middle school and high school, that like, now how I am as an adult, I really don't give a fuck when somebody talks shit about me, because it's just like, who cares? Like, I went through so many years of people talking shit about me and nobody ever touched me. Nobody ever came up to me and said it to my face. Nobody ever, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. So why am I going to worry myself about something that you can't even have the balls to come and tell me to my face? I don't care. But like, if it's an actual issue, I'm going to confront you about it. If it's something that like has hurt me, I'm going to come and talk to you about it. You can ask all my friends. I'm going to come and have a conversation with you about it. Even if it's like a joking conversation, it's still going to be spoken about. That is the story. I hope you guys liked this story. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you have done in the comments below, and also let me know if you have a non-confrontational friend that ended up being the fakest bitch you've ever met. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys next time.